This week on Supercars Torque, there's more wildcards to discuss, and Walkinshaw and Andretti United decides they want to bat for the other team. The big news this week. Jordan Boys has been announced as an Erebus Image Racing wildcard at Winton and the Bend. Now, a little bit of a strange one, this one, because Jordan will be racing with Brad Jones Racing in the endurance races, but he is an Erebus kind of, and had raced for Image Racing, which is kind of the Erebus junior team previously in Super 2. This one, not a big surprise, because he had basically come out and said that, you know, for his development, he saw more, value in doing a couple of wildcards this year rather than going and doing the Super 2 series again, so he can really show his worth against the main guys. He will be in a third Erebus car. It will be run by the Image Racing crew. The car looks really good. I mean, it looks like his Super 2 car from last year. The sponsors carrying over. This will be the car that the Murphy Stanaway wildcard will be using at Bathurst. So definitely not second-rate equipment there. So it really will be a good way for him to show where he stands. On that as well, Adderton's got himself in the news again. Obviously, the Murphy Stanaway wildcard is going ahead at Bathurst. There was talk about them doing, an extra round each during the year as a wild card. It looks like that's not happening. Barry Ryan had come out and said that's not happening, which obviously there is limited rounds where they can do that, and now with Jordan Boys taking that over for a couple of rounds, it does limit it. Adderton has said the money is there if they were allowed to run it. Once again, is this a truth kind of thing, or is it just him wanting to get in the headlines? Because, we haven't had boosts in the headlines for a week, because it's been a week since they announced that the wildcard will be happening. The human headline out there. I would much prefer to see more cars on the grid than not. So if this could happen, it would be a brilliant thing, in my opinion, especially seeing those guys. Murphy, it would be a warm-up to Bathurst, really. But for Stanaway, getting a chance with probably a very good car, with a very good team, and that, really just seeing where he stacks up against the rest of the field still. I think his time in Supercars was cut too short, and that he still has a lot to give. The actual big news this week is that Walkinshaw and Andretti United have announced that they are going Ford for the start of Gen 3 as of next year. They will be running a Mustang. Not the biggest surprise that they are changing manufacturers. It's been well known that they have been looking for someone else. Probably thought that it was going to be a new manufacturer rather than piggybacking onto Ford. Which is probably the biggest surprise, is because this is the Holden Racing team, really. This, in my eyes and most fans, that's what that team is. That's what they were for so long. So that's probably the biggest shock about it. This does seem like a much more serious deal than some of the other Ford deals out there. When the Kellys went across to Ford, it seemed like they went down to the local Ford dealer, found a Mustang that was in stock, and took some photos in front of that, and made the Kellys made a bit of an announcement that they were going to Ford's. A little bit of money there, but nothing spectacular. Whereas this was an actual Ford announcement. They had a proper Ford motor car there at the announcement with proper Ford people. Zach Brown wasn't there, but Michael Andretti was. It seemed like a big deal. So it's just got the feeling that it's only a matter of time before we see Walkinshaw branded Rangers, Mustangs, things like that in showrooms around Australia. And that there will actually be some Ford branding on the cars. Obviously, the spy shots there that I've got on screen somewhere probably. That they have got the Walkinshaw Andretti United logo and Ford Performance logos all over that car. So it does seem that there is a bit more going on there. On the surface, originally it did look like there was going to be more Fords on the grid than General Motors, more Mustangs and Camaros. Depending on who you listen to at the moment, apparently Ford aren't taking on any more teams. Whether is that they're not going to support any more teams, or whether, yeah, because the team that is in question at the moment is not getting any Holden or, you know, General Motors support. So there's no reason for them to go either way, other than maybe not wanting to buy AAA equipment all the time. But so far at the moment, we've got 11 confirmed on one side and 12 confirmed on the other side, with 2 in question. The General Motors Camaro teams confirmed will be 2 cars from AAA, 2 cars from Erebus, 2 cars from Team 18, 2 cars from Premier Racing, and 4 cars from Brad Jones Racing. And on the Ford side of the equation, we've got the 2 DJR cars, now the 2 Walkinshaw Andretti United cars, 4 cars from Tickford, 2 cars from Grove, and 1 car from the Blanchards. And of course, the uncommitted team there is Matt Stone Racing. Long time it had been, you know, they were going to Ford, which did make a lot of sense. Some things have changed in the background, though, you know, they could just go either way that they wanted, or maybe they are the ones bringing in the, you know, rumoured BMW team. So that's it for this week. As you may have noticed, this was out early this week. I've got a couple of special episodes coming out, special Holden Racing Team episodes really, so keep an eye out for those. And we do have Backseat Drivers, the live stream on Thursday night, so if you're interested, please check that out. Generally, it's not Supercars Talk, it's a bit more F1 talk, bit of Indy cars. I mean, we were talking about video games the other week, cars that we drive and things like that. It does vary a bit. It's not a set script on it, but it's a bit of fun on a Thursday night. So yeah, if you're sitting around with nothing to do, come check us out and join the live stream. We are also planning on doing a quiz night on the channel. Not exactly sure, but how it's all going to work at the moment, but we do want to get some viewers involved and answering questions live, probably with Matt being the quiz master, and yeah, myself and some viewers trying to answer the questions, which we had a bit of a play around with it the other night, and I wasn't as successful at the questions as what I'd hoped. But until next time, I'm still Dave, and I'll catch you later.